And therefore, anything in the creation, the existence of anything in the creation can be established only when it becomes an object of knowledge. But that rule cannot be applied to Aksharam, which is the very self. But Laukika Buddhi is that a thing is there only when it is known, when it is objectified. So we say that a thing is there when it becomes the object of knowledge. Object of knowledge always will possess a certain characteristic or attribute, otherwise it can't become object of knowledge. Yadasti tat savisheshanam. So says footnote number 2, yadasti ityadi. Tatha aksharam nasti eva, and therefore Laukika Buddhi is what? Aksharam or immutable. God is not there. Why? Nishprakarakatvat vyatirekena ghatadivati vibhava. Nishprakarakatvat, because it doesn't have any prakara, any visheshan it doesn't have. So vyatirekena, there is no example for that. This is one way. Therefore, a contrary example is given, opposite example, vyatirekena ghatadivati. How do you say Ghatapada is there? Because Ghatapada always possesses certain characteristics, some attributes. And Brahman is not there because it doesn't possess any attribute at all. In short, how can anything be there not possessed of an attribute? This is also a thing. How can anything be there not possessed of some characteristic? Something has to be there, you know. How can you say that something is there not possessing any attribute? So they will want to impose some attribute upon Brahman anyway, you know. So, yadasti tat savisheshanam, and therefore, yadasti. If it is there, it must have this, and so forth. And this is the general rule. If Brahman also has to be accepted as existing, it must have this and this characteristic, otherwise it cannot be accepted as existing. Anyway, it is Laukiki Buddhi. Loka Buddhi apeksha ashankade ataha astitva anumanam pramanam upaniṣad. Ashankade Siddhanagi nasti aksharam nirvisheshanam iti sheshaha. Ashankade nasti aksharam nirvisheshanam. And therefore, immutable aksharam nirvishesham, devoid of any attribute, is not there. This is what the Laukika Buddhi is there. Yataha Laukika Buddhi asti ataha astitvaya anumanam pramanam upaniṣad. And therefore, for the existence of immutable, this anumanam pramanam, or this inferential evidence is presented here. This is all existence of God to be, if it is sought to be established by inference, that's always a thing that is debated, you know. Infinite debates are going on. How to establish the existence of Brahman? It cannot be. There are no arguments by which we can establish the existence of God. That God is, you cannot prove. You cannot prove. But Shruti here also reveals, Shruti doesn't have to prove anything. Shruti herself is a pramanam, but Laukika Buddhi is there, that since Laukika Buddhi, the person who listens to that possesses Laukika Buddhi, and that being the case, so there would be, for me to understand also, I require a certain methodology, you know. My mind works only in a certain way, and therefore, in a way that my own mind can understand in that way, this is being presented here. Etasyava aksharasya. And so, says this passage, page 861. Are you going? Etasyava aksharasya prashasane garge Surya chandramasau vidhrutau tishtataha. Etasyava aksharasya prashasane garge Dyava prasibhya vidhrute tishtataha. Etasyava aksharasya prashasane garge nimeshaha muhurtaha ahoratrani ardhamasaha masaha rutavaha samvatsaraha iti vidhritasthishthante. Etasyava aksharasya prashasane garge prachyaha anyanadyasyanante shvetebhyah parvatebhyah pratīcyaha anyaha यां यां च दिशम् अनु एतस्य वा अक्षरस्य प्रशासने गार्गे ददतो मनुष्याः प्रशंसन्ते यजमानं देवाः गर्वीं पितरोऽन्वायत्ताः Just now, by pointing out to the phenomenon that this universe is, this passage actually seeks to establish the existence of the one who is the controller, who is Antaryami, Prashasanam. Thus, in order, by pointing out the order of training the universe, the one who maintains the order, or one under whose order everything is there, so that Niyamaka or the ordainer is, from the order, the ordainer is sought to be established here. Etasya vai aksharasya prashasane gargi, he gargi, etasya aksharasya prashasane. Etasya uktarupasya, of the akshara that has been stated, prashasane agnyayam. By the mighty rule of this immutable O Gargi, Surya Chandramasau vidhrutau tishtataha. Surya Chandramasau, the sun and the moon, vidhrutau tishtataha. Niyamitau vartete. Look, he Gargi, by the mighty rule of this immutable, the sun and the moon, they remain, so they remain niyamitau vartete. Both of them actually obtain as controlled. So they function in a controlled or a disciplined manner. The sun and the moon, who themselves are so powerful, they themselves even function in a disciplined or in an orderly manner. Idea is that they have no freedom to transgress that order. That shows that there is someone who imposes that order upon them. Etasya va aksharasya prashasane gargi dyava prasavya vidhrute tishtataha. And he Gargi, under the mighty rule of this immutable, the Dev and the Prithvi, and so the heaven and the earth, they also are held in their respective positions. So they also do not have the freedom to be different from where they are and to be different from what they are. Etasya aksharasya prashasane gargi nimeshaha, all these various units of time. So these are the units of time that we had. We didn't say second and this minute and stuff like that. But we had the nimeshaha. Nimesha means moments, whatever. There are measure of this nimesha, the moment. Muhurtaha, muhurta. Muhurta is 48 minutes, so muhurta. Ahoratrani, day and night. Ardhamasaha, so the fortnights. According to the lunar, the movement, the fortnights. Masaha, the months, also the lunar months. Rutavaha, the seasons. Samvatsaraha, the year, that's the solar. So Samvatsara is according to the movement of sun. Rutava, of course, they involve both, but basically the movement of both sun and moon, but basically the movement of sun. But Masaha, Ardhamasaha, Ahorat, Masaha and Ardhamasaha, according to the movement of moon. Ahoratrani, according to the movement of sun. Nimeshaha, Muhurtaha, or the Muhurta also according to the movement of sun. 48 minutes. So when you come to minutes, that means solar. So when it comes to moon, it's invariable. You can't say minutes and stuff like that. With moon you can't say that because it will vary all the time. With sun, it is fixed, the predictability is there anyway, whatever it is. So anyway, Ahoratrani, Ardhamasaha, Masaha, Rutavaha, Samvatsaraha, iti, Vidrutaha tishtante. So they are held in their position, meaning that they also do what they do. Bhashyakara explained, all of them count the things, So they are all like this, the accountant which keeps account of things. Account means counting, Accountant always keeps on counting things. Keeps it in order. So similarly also the principle of time that is divided in all these subdivisions keeps track of everything. So under the mighty rule of this immutable, the principle of time keeps track of everything. Etasya va aksharasya prashasane gargi prachya anyaha nadyaha sanyante shvetebhyah parvatebhyah. Anyaha nadyaha, some rivers, not anyaha means other, but here some. Eke, some rivers, Shvetebhya, Parvatebhya, from the white mountains, that is from the Himalayas, Prachya Sanyante, and under the mighty rule of this immutable, there are several number of rivers that move, that flow in the eastern direction from the white mountains. Like the Ganga and the Yamuna and others, so they flow in the eastern direction. Pratichya Anyaha, there are others which flow in the western direction, like the Indus or like the Narmada, all of these are flowing in the western direction. So that western is eastern is more, what shall we say, auspicious. Flowing in the eastern direction, auspicious. Flowing in the western direction is alright, and Nadi itself is auspicious anyway, but flowing in the eastern direction, auspicious, more auspicious. So Ganga, Yamuna, they always assume that auspiciousness because flowing in the eastern direction, eastward movement, northward movement, all of that. And there are of course rivers flowing in every direction. Yam Yam Chadisham Anu. And then the others which follow all their different courses. So the idea is that all the rivers follow their courses. This is important. The rivers do not have the freedom to give up their course. They are made to follow their course also by the mighty rule of the immutable. Etasya akshirasya prashasane gargi dadataha manusyaha prashamsanti. Dadataha, that becomes the accusative plural. Manusyaha dadataha prashamsanti. That's interesting, Under the mighty rule of this immutable, manusya, the people, praise those who give. So dadat. Dadat means, so dadati, the one who gives is dadat. Dadataha, the plural, accusative plural of those who are giving. So people praise those who are the charitable people. Those who give are being praised by the other people. So praise also comes, and that's in a very complicated way we explain how this praise also, each one of these establishes the existence of God. Yajamanam devaha. And even the devaha, means the gods, they also in a way praise the yajamana sacrificers. Darvim pitaraha anvayataha. Pitaraha, the main, so these, the ancestors, the departed souls, so they are also dependent upon Darvim, whatever, Darvim. So some kind of an offering is there. So idea is that devatas depend upon this, that the Pitrus depend upon something else, that the human beings depend upon those who give them. All of this also establishes the existence of the Aksharam, is immutable God. Then page 863, Bhashyakara says, or before that Anandagiri says, so Anandagiri said, or says now, the footnote says that this actually is nothing but the inference to establish the existence of Antaryami. So Anandagiri continues there on page 863, Antaryamani Jagat Karane Parasminna Anumana Siddhe. Antaryamini, footnote number 2. Nanu aksharastitvasya sadhyatve kivida antaryami astitva sadhanaya anumana upanyasya. Aksharastitvasya sadhyatve, in fact, what is desired to be established is the existence of Akshara or immutable. Kivida antaryami astitva sadhanaya anumana upanyasya. How come the Shruti is presenting anumana or inferential evidence with reference to establishing existence of Antaryami, whereas we want to know, or whereas the purpose is, or wherever the desire is, or the need rather. The need is to present the evidence to establish the existence of immutable. Then how come the evidence is presented here to establish the existence of Antaryami? So, Nanu Antaryami Anumana Siddha Akshara Visetsati. We will say, wait a minute, when Antaryami, the immutable is, rather the inner controller is established, then the Aksharam, meaning immutable, also gets established. You will say, Tatkasam, how? How is it that by establishing the existence of the controller, the inner ruler, or an outer ruler, whatever it is, not only inner ruler, that's all. So by establishing the existence of ruler, who is God, how is it that the aksharam, the immutable, the non-ruler gets also established? When we say it is aksharam immutable, meaning the rulership also is not there. So rulership also, one has to overcome that also, grow out of that. First we reach God by looking upon him as a ruler, because that's what we want. We want a ruler, we want a refuge, and so we are seeking refuge in someone who can protect us. So God is looked upon as protector, and still I remain protected. Even that, looking upon God as protector also has to be ultimately given up. To know God in its true nature. And so, however, here God is presented as a ruler. How? By establishing the existence of the ruler, that the existence of that which is non-ruler, how does it get established? That's where Anandagiri says, Antaryamini jagat karane parasmin anumana siddhe vivakshitam nirupadyaksharam setsade. Antaryamini jagat karane parasmin anumana siddhe. So, Antaryami Jagat Karanam, when we say that God is Jagat Karanam or the cause of the creation, that also means Saguna Brahma only. Because it possesses causality. So, Antaryami is Ishvara, and that's the Jagat Karanam, the cause of creation. Parasmin Anumana Siddhe Paris. Parasmin. Yeah, but it's not parasmin in the sense of param brahma. So parasmin antaryami jagat karane anumana siddhe, that's all. So only when Paramatma in his role of the jagat karanam, the cause of the creation, with antaryami, when he is established by inference, vivakshitam nirupadyaksharam setsati, then vivakshitam. So that which is sought to be established, that is what sought to be said. Nirupadyaksharam setsati. Even Nirupadi also gets established. How? Jagat karanatvasya upalakshanataya, ultimately only by lakshanavritti. Not by vachyartha, but only by lakshyartha. So, Jagat karanatvasya upalakshanataya janmadi sutre sthitatvad. Janmad yasya yataha, that is janmadi sutram. Janmadi asya jagataha yataha brahmanaha. So, Brahman from which this whole creation has its birth and sustenance and dissolution. So that is Tatastha Lakshanam. So by Janmadi actually, by Tatastha Lakshanam, what we seek to establish is Brahman, that is actually cause all right, but by Lakshana Vritti then, it also establishes Brahman, that is Nirupadikam. So Nirupadikam only gets established by Lakshana Vritti. So Upalakshanataya, Jagat Karanatvasya Upalakshanataya. That Brahman is Jagat Karanam. Brahman is called Jagat Karanam actually. But Jagat Karanam not in a primary sense, only in a implied sense. Not in a primary sense, only in a secondary sense rather. And therefore, by calling Brahman as Jagat Karanam, so by calling Brahman as Jagat Karanam, by Lakshana Vritti, the one that is beyond the cause and effect is established. That's how. So Janmadi Sutre Jagat Karanatvasya Upalakshanataya Janmadi Sutre Sthitatvad. So Yato Vaimani Bhutani Jayante or Janmadyasyatah, all of them seek to point out Brahman by Lakshana Vritti as that which is the cause of creation. Not cause in the sense of primary cause, but only Vivarta Karanam. So Upalakshana Dwara Brahmani Swarupalakshana Pravrittehe, that's all. It is not that you prove it, but by Upalakshana. So here Brahman is established as the cause of the creation here also. But then, by calling it cause, by Upalakshana, meaning by implication, we are actually pointing out Brahman that the cause also requires something, that is its adhishthanam, and that adhishthanam again is that which is beyond the idea of cause and effect. So Upalakshana Dwara Brahmani Sarupalakshana Pravrittehe, that's all. Sarupalakshana only by Upalakshanam, that by Lakshana Vritti alone, these words Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam can teach Brahman and not by their primary meaning. Antaryamini Anuma Prakrita Upayukta iti bhavaha. And therefore, Antaryamini Anuma, meaning this Anumanam, Prakrita Upayukta iti. Prakrita means Akshara Sadhika Anuma. Prakritopayukta iti bhavaha. Anuma is feminine word, And so, Prakritopayukta meaning Akshara Sadhika. And so, this Anumanam that is presented to establish the existence of Antaryami or Jagat Karanam also helps to establish the existence of Aksharam by Lakshana Vritti. So, Anumanam only by directly can only establish the existence of Jagat Karanam or Jagat Niyanta. That also cannot be established anyway, because Anumanam is also what? Anumanam also requires an evidence. And evidence is what? That just as here, evidence is like this, will be pointed out. That just as in our day-to-day life, we find that wherever Niyantranam is there, then Niyanta must be there. Therefore, Jagat is also Niyantritam, therefore Niyanta must be there. But that Jagat is Niyantritam itself is to be established, To establish that there is an order, that is a statement by us, and it's a statement in good faith. But that there is an order is also questioned, I will not question it because then this passage doesn't have a purpose. But the point is, people do question, where is the order in this world? Where is it, Where do you see justice? There is no justice. People who are doing good always have to suffer, constantly goes on, So any complaint is only because we do not accept justice. And how can there be complaint? Any kind of a complaint comes at any time is because we question the justice. And the world is full of complaints only. There is hardly any compliment, There is generally complaint and complaint everywhere, all over the world. That means that justice is questioned. And therefore, so in generally speaking, we keep on questioning the very justice in this life. And therefore, that there is a justice. If you accept that there is a justice, then of course the just ruler is also accepted. But people have a hard time accepting justice, depending upon your experiences in life. If you have met with experiences where you always have met with injustice, then people are unfortunate. Sometimes the prarabdha really does that to them, and the world also does it to them, a prarabdha. So when a child grows also, a lot of injustice is done very often because their parents are not enlightened and so forth and so on. Whatever they are, they have their own parents also are just poor creatures, whatever they are. And we expect them to be gods, and perfect beings, which they are not. That being the case, the child has to go. Child doesn't know, poor thing, of course. So for child, parents are gods, no doubt about that. And so the child expects that kind of a thing, a total justice. And child has its own definition of what justice is also, of course, And so everybody has their own definition of what justice, naturally. That being the case, when that justice is not got, has not come to me all along. And some people are unfortunate, really. They are unfortunate. Wherever they go and whatever they do, there is disappointment in life. Tremendous disappointments are there in life. And so, to expect them to accept that there is a justice is very hard. Tremendous revolt is there. What do you mean justice? Who says there is just God? When the tremendous revolt comes, of course, if that mind persists, then it will be able to find, that even that there appears to be injustice, there also an order is there. In the disorder also, there is an order. There is an order in disorder also. Disorder what it means is that when we say there is an order in disorder, what it means is that disorder is a standpoint. So what appears to be disorder, there also there is an order. Order means there is a reason. For the disorder also, there is a reason. Why all these vessels utensils are kept this way, they're all heaped up. There is no order in this place. But then there is a reason why those things are heaped. Because there is something here, something in the mind. There is somebody who has done that, or some group of people who have done it, and they have their own mind, and they have their own priorities, and that being the case, this is what it is. So what appears to you to be disorder is nevertheless order for someone else, because for the kind of priorities that are obtained for that group of people, this is all that deserves to be done and not more. Whereas the kind of priority that you have, something else deserves to be done. Thus, what we call order and disorder, all of these are nothing but standpoints, and therefore there is an order and disorder inasmuch as what appears to be disorder to one appears to be in order to someone else. And when you look at it from the cosmic standpoint, everything is in order. Nothing whatever is in disorder. When you take into account the total time and total space and total forces that obtaining the creation, everything turns out to be in order. Anyway, this again is all in good faith. And if one is fortunate, that faith comes. Otherwise it doesn't come. So that's what we call Shraddha. And that also requires the tremendous grace of God. Nothing else. Shraddha. You cannot insist upon Shraddha. You cannot will to have Shraddha. It just requires grace of God. If it is there, it is there. Not there, not there. And so the mind then is all brought up to keep on questioning everything, and distrusting. Samshayatma vinashyati. That is also unfortunate. It's not it's not that somebody has will to be samshayatma. But as I said, or as they say, anyway, I don't know, as they say, because everything is ultimately traced to childhood and growing and growth and stuff like that, when a person cannot trust anybody, when the promises are not kept, this happens every day. In India and everywhere in the world it happens, but so much so in India. Because we are not honest people very often, and therefore we are always not honest in the sense that in little things also dishonesty shows up. So we promise something to a child and then we don't fulfill the promise, that's all. So, okay, beta, tomorrow I will bring it. Today to quiet, this fellow is crying, and therefore to quiet and, you give him a promise, you forget about it. Child looks for it, and the promise has not been kept, disappointment. Some other promise, disappointment. Okay, your uncle will come back, he doesn't come back, disappointment. I'll be back in 5 minutes, I'm not back in 5 minutes, disappointment. And like these little things, so for the convenience of the parents, they keep on manipulating children. This is the common stuff, and that's how children. Now if that manipulation has taken place excessively, then the child tremendously feels manipulated, and then this cannot trust. Ultimately, it is so difficult for us to believe that there can be a good person. We just cannot believe that there can be a good person. And most people have tremendous difficulty in accepting that there can be a good person, really, because we haven't come across any. And we can't trust that there can be somebody like that. So, this is a big problem. In that case, you can't, this statement will not, that mind, cannot be penetrated even by this statement of the Shruti. What mind can be penetrated is a mind that has Shraddha, and that mind which is fortunate. That's all we can say. If Shraddha is there, it is just because one is fortunate. Shraddha is not there, one is unfortunate. And again, that Purva Durita and stuff like that, if the Purva Punya is there, Shraddha is there. If Purva Punya is not in adequate measure, Shraddha is not there. Therefore, to create Shraddha, Punya is required. That's all it is. Ultimately, Sat Karma, Punya Karma, do good, be good and do good. This is an excellent sutra, Swami Shivanandaji. Be good and do good. Not at all easy, extremely difficult, but then at least doing good. Even if we are not good, we start doing good. Ultimately we will become good. But that is all. Simple as that. Vyavahara is do good and do good. And die if necessary, but do good. Well, what will happen to me? Whatever happens, nothing, nobody can snatch away anything from me that is not in my prarabdha, that is in my prarabdha, cannot be snatched away, and nobody can give me that which is not in my prarabdha. However, I kill myself and die asking for things, it doesn't come. It's not there. Ask this graha, and therefore the Jyotish will help you what is in your prarabdha and what is not in your prarabdha. Find out that these grahas are there, and so that is what they are doing to me, and therefore I give up. I forget about it. I mean, this is not in my sun line is all broken and stuff like that, therefore Yasha is not there. Forget about it. And therefore, I need not bother about recognition and stuff. It is not there. Okay, give it up. Some other lines are there, and so this is not there. Okay. No, Rahu mantra and this mantra, forget about them. It is not there. Give it up if it is not there. That's all. Rather than doing mantras and asking for it, give it up. Because after it comes, it will have to be given up anyway. Someday everything has to be given up regardless, and therefore Bhartavali says that when they themselves want to go away, let them go. If the Vishayas want to go away, why do you want to hold on to them? Because they will go away anyway. And so if they are away, keep them away. Don't call them. And don't invite them, But we want to invite them, burden ourselves with them, and then don't know what to do with it. It's not easy to deal with those things, Nothing is easy with in the world. When recognition comes, you don't know what to do with it. And when whatever comes, praise, anything that comes, mana comes, you just do not know what to do with it. And then it becomes a tremendous burden because it brings a lot of other problems with them, Nothing comes alone. And so when any recognition comes, or anything comes, it brings a lot of whole of other stuff with it. They come with an army of problems and burden, and therefore, rather than that, leave them there. If it is not there, also thank God for what is not there. If it is there, enjoy it. Thank God for it. It's not there, enjoy that it is not there, and thank God for that. It's always nice to be an humble, simple person, because that's what a sadhu is. Ultimately, we have to be, that's what this teaching is. Be remaining humble and simple person. No need to become proud, and no need to become complicated. If, and if things do not come to me, God is giving some message, that all right, don't ask for it. So every time I ask something and I get a blow. Every time I ask for something, I get a blow. I keep on fighting with the things, Rather than that, just give it up. So simple rule is, whatever causes you pain, just drop it. Anything that causes pain, drop it. But Swami, I will have nothing. That's good. That's what Vairagya is. Nothing. That is, otherwise Brahman is, if those things are there, God should all have them, then He stays away. And if everything goes away, then you have the big thing, To have the big thing, the small things have to go anyway. So what it means is Satkarma. Satkarma means Punya Karma. That is what brings Shraddha. And that is when these passages and all of these teaching really goes home. Until then the teaching doesn't go home. Even this kind of thing, they say that there is God, and it just creates a tremendous reward, because where is God? I haven't experienced Him. I don't see any sign of it, And it is true, the heart which is tremendously burnt, that it has a lot of difficulty. And so this is the only way we can go, is do good. And as much as possible, be good. By Punya Karma alone, the grace of God comes, and the Shraddha and other things come, not by anything else. There is no other way. It is only by grace of God that the things will happen. And not by begging, and not by demanding, nothing ever comes. It is again, comes from God. He is a giver. And so beg from Him, or demand from Him. And the way to do it is by doing good, and not by anything else. God can be only pleased by Punya Karma, by Sat Karma, by no other way. We can manipulate the world, you cannot manipulate Him, and therefore that Karma Phaladata is very clear, and so simple rule. Do good, and things will come. Swami Akhandanandi told this to one of the sadhus there, because so there were several sadhus there in Vrindavan Ashram, and somebody senior was there, and then he was always very sad, because people didn't look at him, people didn't come to him. When they came to ashram, they went to other sadhus who were more popular, Some people are just not given to that kind of public relations and stuff like that, and then they feel, that. So Akhandananda said, ye sab irsha, or whatever, in Hindi, whatever he must have said, rather than all this jealousy and stuff like that, यदि ऐसी इच्छा है कि लोग आपके पास आए, बैठ जाओ, भगवान का नाम स्मरण कराओ. Repeat God's name. If you want that people should come to you, that you should be recognized and everything else, God will give you. भगवान का नाम ले लो, बस. Punya karma. And that will bring, if that is what you want. If you want to utilize your punya karma for that kind of stuff, fine. But then it will come by punya karma. So whatever comes to our life, all the material, what we call accomplishments also, all of them are not result of any smartness. They are all result of only punya karma and nothing else. No smartness works anywhere. What works is goodness and not smartness. So rather than becoming smart, we should seek to become good. It may be a slow path and may not be rewarding quickly, but it has to reward ultimately. Smartness may appear to reward quickly, but it cannot carry us too far. Goodness. Then Shraddha comes, and then all this Anumanam. It is Anumanam for where it works, So, as we say, God can never become the object of inference. And what we call the rationalists will always question this kind of argument. If you seek to prove a God by these passages, you cannot. But this gives us for a mind that has the Shraddha, it gives a very beautiful, very beautiful material for contemplating upon the nature of God. Then Ishvara Darshan, you can see how God is everywhere. And for that mind, this passage has become the aid for contemplation upon God, which is so beautiful. But ultimately, Shastra becomes Pramana only when there is Shraddha. And as I said, Shraddha is there when there is grace of God. So, and grace of God is there, if it is not in adequate measure, we have to get it again, as I said, by serving God. Anyway, so this is how Upalakshana, this Lakshana Vritti means that only. Ultimately, what is Lakshana Vritti? Where do you cross that barrier? The bridge from Vachya to Lakshyartha. How do you cross it? Not by an effort. What the mind can grasp is only Vachyartha. And Lakshyartha has to happen, that's all. It is anirvachaniyam, regardless of what prakriyas are being stated here. There are millions of texts and all complicated prakriyas that are trying to explain how the knowledge takes place. There is no way anybody can explain. It is anirvachaniyam. And therefore, that's why people say, Narsi Mehta kya bhag gaya tha? They don't have to go. Narsi Mehta need not go anywhere to all this Lakshyartha and Vachyartha. He possesses a mind that can grasp Lakshyartha, that's all it is. And if that mind is not there, no amount of charcha will do that also. We have to do charcha, no doubt, but still, ultimately, what is required is the purity of mind. What will Bhashyakar also say? He is the minimum of these discussions. That ultimately, the people who follow have to have discussions. The scholarship has to be there. But all of this area remains always what we call the grey area, the fuzzy area, because it is anirvachaniyam. Brahma is anirvachaniyam, Brahma Jnanam also is anirvachaniyam, everything is anirvachaniyam. Therefore the bhaktas will say that it is God's grace by which you get the knowledge. That's a way of looking at it, and that's what suits some people's heart. Some people's heart suit, they want to do things themselves, that also is okay, and for that, so depending upon the disposition of people, nothing is better than the other. It is anirvachaniyam, and so which is better and which is not also is hard to say. But for that anirvachaniyatvam thing to take place, it requires certain disposition of mind, which is what we call the antahkarana shuddhi, shuddha antahkaranam. And that's where all the passages will be, because I know people have reported to me, and that moment the word order is used, is a tremendous revolt from inside. In course of time, however, if you persist with it, then the Shraddha also comes and mind also sees. So, the mind, that is a rational mind, a thinking mind, can be made to see things. Therefore, Shraddha can be created in a mind that at least is an open mind. Therefore, also, reasoning all has a place, because that is how the mind can be made to see things in a certain way. A certain perspective is provided to the mind, so it sees, and that's how the Shraddha can be created. So that perspective also is there in these passages in the Shruti. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bādarayanam Sutra Bhāṣya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Prasad Chavai. एतस्य वा अक्षरस्य प्रशासने गार्गी सूर्य चंद्रमसो विधृतौ तिष्ठतः। एतस्य वा अक्षरस्य प्रशासने गार्गी द्यावा पृथिव्यौ विधृते तिष्ठतः। एतस्य वा अक्षरस्य प्रशासने गार्ग्यनिमेषा मुहूर्ता अहोरात्राण्यर्धमासा मासा ऋतवः संवत्सरा इति विधृतास्तिष्ठन्ते। एतस्य वा अक्षरस्य प्रशासने गार्ग्य प्राच्योन्या नद्यः स्यन्दन्ते। श्वेतेभ्यः पर्वतेभ्यः प्रतीच्योन्याः यां यां च दिशमनु। एतस्य वा अक्षरस्य प्रशासने गार्ग्य ददतो मनुष्याः प्रशंसन्ते। यजमानं देवाः दर्वीं पितरोऽन्वायत्ताः। अनेक विशेषण प्रतिषेध प्रयासात् अस्तित्वं तावत् अक्षरस्य उपगमितं श्रुत्या अनेक विशेषण प्रतिषेध अनुपत्तेः, all the visheshana, the characteristics or attributes in Brahman or Akshara are all negated by Shruti. In the previous passage, Asthulam, Ananu, Ahaswam, Adirgham, Anupattehe, that would not be tenable unless there was something with reference to which the negation was done, and unless there was a limit, unless this negation also ultimately culminated into something. As we saw in the footnote number 7, स्थूलाद्यनेक धर्माणां निषेधायास कारणात् अस्तित्वम् अक्षरस्येह सिद्धं तावद्दृगात्मनः। स्थूलादि अनेक धर्माणां निषेध आयास कारणात्, since nisheda ayasa again has to understand as anupatti, all this nisheda would not have been. Astitvam aksharasya siddham tavad drugatmana aksharasya, and therefore akshara of the immutable, who is drugatma of the nature of the witness, its astitvam tavat siddham is the existence of akshara, the immutable, who is the nature of the witness himself gets established. That becomes avadhi. As the same footnote continues, निषेध कल्पना अनुपत्या निषेध अनुपत्या च अधिष्ठानत्वेन अवधित्वेन च स्वप्रकाशम अक्षरम सिद्धमित्यर्थः। निषेध्य कल्पना अनुपत्या निषेध अनुपत्या च, so that we already read, निषेध्य कल्पना अनुपत्या and nisheda. The very process of nisheda, negation, cannot take place unless there is an avadhi, unless that nisheda stops somewhere. And nishedhya, that which is negated, the negation of something also cannot take place unless there is an adhishthanam. Adhishthanam is the reference to which the negation takes place. Adhisthanatvena avadhitvena cha. Nishedhya is there, therefore adhishthanam is there. Nishedha. Nishedhya means that which is negated, like sthulam, anu, etc. So that is called nishedhya, that which is negated. That shows that the adhishthanam of all of them must be there. And the very nishedha, the process of negation takes place, that shows that this process must come to an end somewhere. So nishedhya points to an adhishthanam and nishedha points to an avadhi. Atra bhav adhikaranam adhishthanam abhav adhikaranam cha avadhihi. Bhav adhikaranam adhishthanam. Adhishthanam, that sthulam, sukshmam, all of these are negated, which means that there must be an existing entity, a positive entity, which must form the basis with reference to which the sthulas, anu, etc. are negated. Abhav adhikaranam. And ultimately this negation has to stop. Negation ultimately has to come to a conclusion. There is a witnessing self which cannot be negated, so that becomes the adhikaranam of the locus where there is non-existence of negation. So So bhavadhikaranam, the sthula, sukshma, etc. are those where the negation is there, and drugatma is the one where the negation cannot be there. So bhavadhikaranam adhishthānam, abhavadhikaranam, bhavakalpana adhikaranam cha avadhihi iti uchyate iti vivekah. So, going back to the bhashya, aneka visheshana pratisheda prayasat astitvam tavad aksharasya upagamitam shrutya or jñāpitam shrutya. The Shruti hai is teaching us the existence of an entity which becomes very adhisthanam, very frame of reference, with reference to which the negation takes place, keeping which in mind. Adhisthanam means what? That is kept in mind while doing the negation. So you keep that aksharam in mind while saying not sthulam, not anu, not hasvam, not dirgham, not rasam, not sneham, etc. So something is kept in mind while the negation takes place. That is adhisthanam. And how long will this go on? Until you reach there. So until what is in the mind is reached, until then this negation, elimination will take place. So that also becomes avadhi, the very culmination or the very process, or very culmination of the process of negation. This is how Shruti teaches that there is something. It's amazing how, by even negation also, we are taught about the existence of something that is positive. This is very beautiful and something to me, because generally speaking, we would think that negation means that something is not there. But negation means something is there. Because unless something is there, it's a process of elimination. How can the process of elimination take place unless there is something which cannot be eliminated? If everything gets eliminated, then the process of elimination doesn't serve any purpose at all. For the process of elimination to serve the purpose, something which cannot be eliminated must be there. So very process of elimination or negation itself teaches that there is something which is non-negatable. Tathapi lokabuddhim apekshya yadasti tat savisheshanam eva iti laukiki buddhi. This is lokabuddhi. Yadasti tat savisheshanam eva. Whatever is must have necessarily some qualification. It must have some attribute. Because we are accustomed to say that something is only when it becomes an object of knowledge, only when we can perceive something that we say that it is. And we can only perceive that which possesses some visheshanam or which possesses some attributes or qualifications. And therefore, the usual idea that is affixed in our mind is that we would only be willing to accept something is existing when it can be perceived by us, or when it can be thought by us. What can be thought by us is only that which can be perceived by us. So what can be perceived or what has been perceived alone can become the object of thought, otherwise a thought cannot be there. And so what can be thought of, and therefore what can be perceived alone is accepted as existing. That is laukika buddhi. And so what cannot become the object of perception of sense organs also can be there. And what cannot be objectified by the thought also can be there. This is not there in laukika buddhi. Therefore, loka buddhim apeksha. Ultimately, this upadesha or instruction is given to loka anyway. And therefore, loka buddhi has to be kept in mind. Why should Shruti worry about what the notions people carry? But if they don't keep in mind, then this all teaching is meant for the people only. And therefore, the notions obtaining in people, and the way the people are accustomed to think, the way that people are accustomed to understand, all of this alone is kept in mind while communicating, because the communication has to take place to the people. Lokabuddhi apeksha ashankare nastyaksharam nirvisheshanam iti ashankare. And therefore, this ashanka arises that aksharam or immutable, nirvisheshanam, devoid of any vishesha or any attribute. So one would think that conclusion, ashanka is conclusion. One would conclude that there is no reality which can be nirvishesha. And that is what was the conclusion of all subsequent acharyas also, that nobody accepted nirvishesha. After Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya and others, they did not accept God nirvishesha. They always only accepted God savishesha, possessed of some vishesham. Possessed of what? Saustavam, Saundaryam, Madhuryam, whatever. So these are the things must be there. How can God be without this, Madhuri must be there, Saustavam must be there, Saundaryam must be there. And so this must be there. How can there be God without this? Can't imagine. The heart cannot accept a God. So these are the questions that arise in the heart. But that this Madhurya or Saundarya or Sauharya, all of these are the attributes of God. All of these ultimately require an adhisthānam anyway. And that they don't have to have a form. They don't have to have, of course, when they talk of the Saguna Sakara and they talk of the Saguna Nirakara, then there is Nirguna Nirakara. There are categories. Saguna Sakara, Saguna Nirakara, Nirguna Nirakara. So this is Nirgunam Nirakaram. No guna, no akara. Whereas Antaryami, for example, is Saguna, but Nirakaram, Antaryami. Antaryami is the inner controller. That's the next principle. But that is when this Aksharam or immutable is supposedly reflected in Maya, and that is how even the role of Antaryamitvam, even that assignment of the role of Antaryamitvam also means that some qualification has been added. So that means guna has been added, so Saguna. But it doesn't have an akara. You can call it Saguna Nirakara. Whereas Virat Purusha is Saguna and Sakara. But usually it becomes, is everybody hear me? I mean, you can lower the volume a little bit. તમે સંભળાય પાછા? સ્પષ્ટ સંભળાય? થોડુંક વોલ્યુમ ઓછું કરો તો શું થાય? ન સંભળાય તો હાથ ઊંચો કરે મને ખબર પડશે. નહીં કારણ ગઈકાલે મને કઈ સ્વામી સંભળાતું જ નથી એટલે પછી આઈ ડોન્ટ નો. નાસ્ત્યક્ષરમ निर्विशेषमिति यदि आशंक्यते अतः यतः अतः अस्तित्वाय अनुमानम प्रमाणम उपन्यस्यते, and therefore in order to establish in loka buddhi, otherwise where negation also establishes the existence, but loka buddhi wants to do something positive. This from negative to arrive at positive is difficult. Therefore we want to arrive at positive to something positive. So creation is there in front of me, that is positive. And so therefore we are accustomed to arrive at something positive from something else that is positive also, and therefore with reference to the universe, which is an object of concrete or tangible experience, we can arrive at the existence of God who is tangible. Although it is true, as Anandagiri said, that Antaryamani Jagat Karane Parasmin Anumana Siddhe, ultimately what gets established is only Antaryami, by inference. So there is an inner controller, that there is order and that there is a control going on, that's where the control starts. And there is an inner controller. And so that inner controller is there, that of course Antaryami is the principle that can be pointed out, nothing more than that. And then from Antaryami, the inner controller, we point out to the Aksharam, the immutable, Nirvishesha, only by Lakshana Bhakti. That any Visheshana ultimately has to resolve in Nirvishesha. So, because if there is a Visheshanam, there is an Antaryamitvam, that Antaryamitvam abides in what? In the one who is Antaryami or who is not Antaryami. This discussion all was there in Panchadashi, that Vishesha. Like the tree is an object possessing the, or like pot, let us say, the pot is an object possessing potness, You call this pot because it possesses potness. Question is, this potness, where is it located? The potness is located in pot or potness is located in non-pot? The potness is the quality of pot. So potness abides where? Is located where? In pot? But then pot is there, then if you say that potness is in pot, then that pot you call again because it possesses potness. So that potness is where? In pot or in non-pot? If it is located in non-pot, how can non-pot possess potness? If it is located in potness and that pot is located in pot, then that pot also should possess potness. Is it the same potness as this potness or another one? If it is same, then both of them are located where? Yet if in another part, if that, then that part possesses partness, which is located where? And if that part is the same as first one, second one, third one, and like this, if you keep on asking, you can arrive at, ultimately you have to say that the partness is located in Nirvishesha. All Visheshanas have their being in Nirvishesha. All the Kriyas have their being in Nishkriya. All Gunas have their being in Nirguna. All Rupa has their being in Nirakara. All Akara has its being in Nirakara. And so forth and so on. So logically speaking also, that this is, we can arrive at, logically also you can point out, not arrive at, but then it makes sense that all of this, because nothing else makes sense therefore. Actually, Savishesha does not make sense. And therefore, Nirvishesha only makes sense. Savishesha does not make sense. As Adhisthānam. So then what's the relationship between this Vishesha and the Nirvishesha? So you are saying that the Vishesha is located in Nirvishesha. In what way? Only in the way that a snake is located in the rope. Which means that all the Visheshas are superimposition upon Nirvishesha. All the Kriyas are superimposition upon Nishkriya. All the Akaras are superimposition upon Nirakara. And so on and so forth. So ultimately, every Vishesha, which is Jagat. Vishesha is Thulam, Anu, Hrasvam, Dirgham, Rasam, Gandham, Vayu, whatever. All of this is Jagat. And automatically it is proven to you what? A superimposition upon Adhisthāna, which is Nirvishesha. So these are Vedantins. By showing that nothing else makes sense, because all kinds of doshas are there, Anyonyashra is there, Atmashra is there, Anyonyashra is there, Chakratmaka is there. You come back to the same partness, going back and, or you go to some partness which never comes to an end, or you come back to the part and partness, So partness depends upon part. Atmashra or part depends upon partness, and partness depends upon part. Anyonyashra, and like that, all kinds of logical fallacies are there, moment to accept any qualification. That means that our life, which is all based on qualifications or attributes, is all, doesn't make sense. The thing is that Vishesha does not make sense. If Vishesha is given reality, doesn't make sense. If you know it to be Mithya, then it's fine. The moment Vishesha is given reality, then it doesn't make sense because all Chakratmaka dosha, or what we call it Anyonyashaya, or the infinite regression, Anavastha, all these doshas are there. In life also all the doshas are there, really. You try to arrive at something, the cause of something, all these problems are there. A given thing has happened, this is responsible for that, all right. Then you ask question, how come that is responsible? So what is about that is responsible? Then the answer will be because you are like that. The problem is, this person treats me like that, someone complains. I said, that person treats you like that, is it because the person is like that or because you invoke something because which person is inclined to treat you like that? Sometimes it's difficult to say. People invoke really, by their very being or by their very behavior, they invoke something in that other person. How come the person doesn't behave like that everywhere? How come he always behaves like that here? Is there something here? I really seriously tell you, look at yourself. And are you doing something or not doing something because of which that gets invoked? The Anyonyashraya. I am there and therefore it is there, or that is there because of that I am there. Or that person behaves like what? Because of what? Because of his father, and why? Because of his father. And that is will be Anavastha dosha. Or this fellow behaves like that because his brother was like that, and brother is because his father is like that, and father is because this fellow is like that, and Chakratmaka. And this is how you can never arrive at anything. But sooner we understand this, better and simpler, or let us say, less stressful our life becomes. Sooner we understand that nothing can ever be pinpointed, that this is the cause, that mother is a cause and father is a cause and childhood is all right, it's nice. I don't say that we want to dismiss all of this because we require some kind of relief in our life anyway. So you have to assign something somewhere. Otherwise you will get crazy, If you cannot find cause of something and somewhere else, then it's terrible, if everything is burden on me, and I am responsible, that Atma-shraya also is another problem. No Ashraya, Mithya doesn't have only Mithya, so moment some reality is given, either everything burden on me, then I am responsible for everything, or somebody else is responsible for that, or mutual responsibility is there, or infinite responsibility is there. None of that will satisfy the mind anyway. That is why we are never happy. We cannot be happy the moment there is some kind of a stress, a moment there is some kind of a problem, difficulty. One of these will happen. And either I am not satisfied with the explanation, or if it comes back to me, in which case I again am totally frustrated or dejected or depressed. And so, this is simple philosophical problem. Then philosophical problem becomes psychological problem. But basically all problems are philosophical problems, But anyway, so that is why Nirvishesha is ultimate Nirvishesha. That alone has to be real. Any Visheshas have to be only superimposed. But this is by Lakshana Vritti ultimately one has to know this, in the sense that this is what one has to discover. And when one gets the disposition of mind, that's right. Vishesha doesn't make sense. Where is it? It can't be located. Mithya thing cannot be located anywhere. Where is the snake? Where is the snake located? Somebody says snake is located on the rope, If snake is located on the rope, then wherever that rope is, the snake must be there. And whoever perceives the rope also must perceive the snake. Not necessarily. I see the rope and that is a snake. Somebody else sees the rope, the snake is not. For that person is not there. Somebody said, but the snake is in the mind. You can't just snake is in the mind also, because wherever you go, your mind is always there. You should see snake everywhere. You don't see that. Says, no, snake is in the association of the rope and the mind. Not necessarily because during the daylight, if there is a contact of the association of rope in the mind, there is no snake. So then what is it? Anirvachaniyam. Everything in the life is anirvachaniyam. And we always want to build nirvachanam. We always want to define. That's what the Nayayikas do. They want to define everything. Give lakshana for everything. Not that we should not define, and it's okay, as I said, for Vyavahara definitions are required. For branding is required. For Vyavahara you have to brand something, call it pot. And everybody calls it commonly, then we can deal with it. We don't know what to do, how to deal with this thing, and therefore, okay, fine. But we should understand that this is merely for mutual convenience that these things are done, and not that it is a reality. So for mutual convenience, a lot of things are done. That is okay. And it's convenient. As I said, certain things are convenient to do things in certain way. We should know what its reality is and how far it should go. How far it should get embedded in our being, that the mithya cannot be defined, mithya cannot be said as to where it is located. All we can say is where mithya is, satyam must be. That's the great consolation is, where mithya is, satyam must be there. That's how Swami Dayananda would say that psychology cannot solve the problem and Vedanta does not see the problem. This way it doesn't see the problem anyway. This is Vedanta. But then so if this is the frame of mind, there is no problem. And psychology cannot solve the problem because all the ashrayas are there. Because psychology means giving reality to the problem. And therefore either atmashraya, anyonyashraya, chakratmaka, paranavastha, one of the things will be there. Your mother is responsible for this, then how come the mother is like that, her mother is responsible for that, and how come she was like that, her mother is responsible? Like the anavastha will go on. Or mother is like that because of father, Anyway, father is there because of some mother again, It is very difficult to say what. And that is how. Who does what, it's very hard to say anyway. Where the cause is really. Anyway, we will not go into all that stuff because that's the point, not the point here. The thing is that in giving, in Visheshana, Visheshana means Jagat. Sthulam, Anu, all of this is what? Creation. It is all these difficulties, but still, Laukiki buddhim apeksha, Laukika buddhim apeksha. Since Laukika buddhi is only accustomed to think in certain terms, therefore in those terms, the Shruti wants to instruct or point out or teach about the existence of Brahman. Once Antaryami is accepted, the next step is not that difficult. First of all, Laukika Buddhi has a problem in accepting Antaryami itself, that there is an Antaryami, that there is an order in this creation, that there is a rule and therefore there is a ruler. Then we say, what do you mean by ruler? Then ruler cannot be in a primary sense, that ruler will turn out to be only Nirvishesha. But once you accept an entity, that is a universal entity and that is associated with everything, all pervasive, the self of all, once you accepted that, then to appreciate that that self of all is Nirvishesha is not at all difficult. Not difficult if the mind is open. And so here, of course, by Anumanam, only what can be pointed out is Savishesham. Savishesham in the sense that Antaryami. So with that, we come to page 863. Anumana Shrutyakshārani Vyakaroti, says Anandagiri. So, earlier it was Antaryamini Jagatkarane Parasmin Anumana Siddhe Vivakshitam Nirupadhyaksharam Setsyate. That is not Parisman but Parasmin. So Antaryami, that is Jagat Karanam, and then Anumana Siddhe, when that is established by Anumanam or by inference, Vivakshitam Nirupadhyaksharam Setsyate, then Nirupadhyaksharam Vivakshitam, that is thought to be conveyed, that also gets established. How? Jagat Karanatvasya Upalakshanataya Janmani Sutristhiratvad. That Jagat Karanam becomes the Upalakshanam. Jagat Karanam. So, Jagat Karanam is how far we can go as far as the Buddhi is concerned, and by Upalakshana means by Lakshana Vritti, then you arrive at the Nirupadhyaksharam. Upalakshana Dvara Brahmani Swarupa Lakshana Pravrittehe. And so the Swarupa Lakshana Pravritti is by Lakshana Vritti. Antaryamini Anuma Prakrutopayukta iti bhavaha. And therefore it is quite alright that an Antaryami is established by Anumanam, because once the Antaryami is established, then up to that the Anumanam can work. Beyond that, then by Lakshana Vritti, then the Nirupadi Brahma gets established in the mind of the Jignasu. Then Anumana Shrutyakshārani Vyakaroti. Okay. Anumana Shruti. This is Anumana Shruti. All this passage here, this Kandika is Anumana Shruti. Aksharani Vyakaroti. And that Aksharani, meaning the words are being explained by Bhāshyakara, Yadetat iti. See, Yadetat. Etasya Vaksharasya Prashasani. So, Etasya vai Aksharasya. Etasya. That has to be explained also. Says the Bhāshya, Yadetat Adhikatam Aksharam Sarvantaram Sakshad Aparokshad Brahma Ya Atma Ashanayadi Dharmatitah Etasya va Aksharasya Prashasane Yatha Rajnyah Prashasane Rajyam Asphutitam Niyatam Vartate Evam Etasya Aksharasya Prashasane He Gargi Surya Chandramasau Suryascha Chandramascha Surya Chandramasau Ahoratrayoho Lokapradipau Tadarthyena Prashasitra Tabhyam Nirvartimana Loka Prayojana Vijnanavata Nirmitau Vidritau Chasyatam Sadharana Sarva Prani Prakashopakarakatvad Laukika Pradipavate. Yadetat, see footnote 1 on that page 863, Yadetat iti yat kahola brahmanoktam tat padartha rupam Etat ushasta brahmanoktam tvam padarthatmakam. न दृष्टे द्रष्टारम पश्ये न श्रुते श्रोतारम श्रूयाः. So thus that which is कार्यकरण संघात साक्षी, that is the त्वम पद उषस्त ब्राह्मणोक्तम त्वम पदार्थात्मकम एतत्. त्वम पदार्थ meaning atma, and that is evident to us. Etat. So that is atma, evident. That is pointed out by the pronoun etat, this. And then tat. Tat is so, or yad or tat, whatever. So that is paroksha, and therefore that is the tat pada. Kahola brahmanoktam tat padartha rupam yoshanaya vipase shokam moham jaram mrityum atyedi. That is the tat pada. So those are recalled. Adhigatam says again the tika, adhigatam asthuladivakyena avagatam iti avata. Avagatam, that which is understood or known. So that was pointed out as Tvam Pada in the Ushasta Brahmana, Tat Pada in Kahola Brahmana is known, and then that was explained as Thulam Ananu in the previous Khandika. Yadetat Adhigatam, that Aksharam or immutable, that is thus been known. Sarvantaram, that is the innermost of everything. Sarvantaram. Sakshad, Aparokshad, Brahma, all of this. So, Ya Atma, Ashanayadi Dharmatitaha, that Sakshad, Aparokshad, that is the Tvam-pada. Sakshad meaning, so that which is immediate and self-evident, immediate, direct, is Tvam-pada. Ya Atma, Ashanayadi Dharmatitaha, and the Atma who is beyond this, the influence of Ashanaya, Pipasa, hunger and thirst, that is Tat-pada. So, Aksharam, Sarvantaram, Sakshad, Aparokshad, Brahma, Ya Atma, Ashnayadi Dharmatitaha, Etasya va. So, Etasya, of this. So, that is what Bhashyakara explained, that pronoun Etah, Etat. So, of this Atma. That was referred to earlier in Ushasta Brahmana and Kahola Brahmana, and that has just been explained earlier. Etasya vai, Aksharasya Prashasane, Gargi, Surya Chandramasau, Vidrutau, Syatan. This is how the connection is in between Bhashyakara, these other explanations. Prashasane is the mighty rule. Shasanam, Prashasanam. Shasanam, the rule. Prashasanam, the mighty rule, meaning the rule that cannot be transgressed. So under the non-transgressible rule of the immutable, Aksharasya Prashasane, Surya Chandramasau, Vidrutau Syatan. Surya and the Chandrama, Surya Chandramasau, Suryascha, Chandramascha, Surya Chandramasau. And so Surya becomes Surya, this is how, Agni Shoma, Agni Shomo. So before of these Devatas' names, in certain cases, the previous vowel becomes lengthened. So Surya Chandramasau, it should be, becomes Surya Chandramasau. So Dyava Prasidhyav, this is how, Agni Shomiyo, whatever. So Surya Chandramasau Vidrutau Tasyatam, they are held in their position. That's what I'm really saying. Prashasane Surya Chandramasau Vidrutau Tasyatam is Sambandha. Uktamartham Drishtantenas Sphorayati. On the page 64, that same artha Drishtantenas Sphorayati is clarified with the help of an illustration, Yathayati. So Bhashyakara says, Yatha Rajñah Prashasane Rajyam Asputitam Niyatam Vartate. Yatha Rajñah Prashasane, just as in the mighty rule of a king or an emperor, Rajyam Asputitam Abhinna Maryadam, remains unbroken, undivided. So under the rule of a king, how the kingdom remains coherent or undivided. Niyatam Vartate. It doesn't get divided into parts. Otherwise, southern people will say we want something separate, and northern fellows, and everybody will split out. Moment that law ends, the arms of the law become weak, people will split out. Significant part of this country, today is not controlled by the central government. There are parts of this country which are not controlled by central government, like in all this Bihar and Assam and these places and many places in Uttar Pradesh and whatever, and perhaps elsewhere, Andhra Pradesh and whatever, where the rule of law doesn't function. There, actually nothing, this country is controlled by whatever, Really speaking, there is no central rule here, but again, that's another topic. For example, so things are deciding by, everybody decides by themselves, Even the economy also takes its own course. Things take their own course. The idea is that here, things take their own course, that there is nobody who can actually set the course. You try to set the course in a way, but things take their own course anyway. And therefore you try to set the economy also on its course, and then the economic forces and whatever forces are there, social forces, and they take charge of the thing, and then things take their course. And therefore, here everything takes its course, and then therefore there is no rule, but that's okay. But the idea is how Sphutitam, how the kingdom becomes split and becomes divided. When that Prashasanam, or when that mighty rule is not there, and even if it is not divided, at least in theory, then Niyatam Navartate, then it doesn't, there is no niyama at all, And so all kinds of mafia are. And so we have no idea. One good thing or bad thing about this country is we just don't know what is happening, that's all. Nothing is reported here. We are just totally uninformed about what is happening behind our own back, really. There is no reporting here. Everything is totally controlled, or whatever it is. There is some kind of a understanding going on among the, what we call the media and the government and whatever it is, but things just that do not get reported. And so only when they explode and like a volcano, then come to know that something was there. That there are 50,000 crores of scams, in last 5 years, not 50,000 crores of scams in last 5 years, and that money, and that all money has gone away. That money should have been enough to pay all our debts and everything. But anyway, we come to know later on, so whatever. So we are blissfully ignorant of what difficulties we have, blissfully ignorant. And therefore Indians think that everybody else in the world has problems, and India has no problems. They think America has maximum problems, and India has no problem, because only those fellows always want to address their problems. They announce their problems because they want to do something about it. And we always keep everything inside, and therefore never want to show anything, regardless of that. But the idea is that this is not the case in the universe, that's all. But the reason why we are finding out the opposite of it, because that's something that is, Vyatireka. This is, Bhashyakara gives a drishtanta, that's hard to find, Yatha Rajñah Prashasane Rajyam Asphutitam Niyatam Vartate. Only when the rule of the mighty rule of the king is there, that the kingdom is coherent and it is totally well controlled. Evam etasya aksharasya prashasana he gargi surya chandramasau. So similarly, in a manner similar to that, he gargi, in the mighty rule of this akshara or immutable, Surya and the sun and the moon, how are they? Ahoratrayoho loka pradipo. So both of them are like the bulb, lamps. Ahoratrayoho, in the day and the night. So Surya, the sun, is a lamp during the day, and moon is a lamp during the night. Anandagiri gives Anumanam, Astravi Puro Danvaya, Yatha. Yatha Rajñah Prashasane Rajyam Asphutitam Niyatam Vartate. Okay. Jagat Vyavastha Prashasitru Purvika. Vyavasthatvat Rajya Vyavasthavat Ityartha. This is how. Jagat Vyavastha. Now footnote number 2 is all there. Jagat Vyavastha. Prashasane ityatra vyakshtam anumanamaha. Rajñah Prashasane. So ityatra vyakshtam anumanamaha. Jagat Vyavastha yadi. Jagat Vyavastha Prashasitru Purvika. That we find the Jagat, the universe, is Vyavastha, in order. And this Shruti points out how nothing in the universe has the freedom to transgress that order. And we find everything functions in order. So there are orders obtaining at different levels. So orders obtaining at the level of physics, at the chemistry, at the level of psychology, and at the level of everywhere, at every level, the orders are existing. And there is a so-called psychological order also, and that's the reason why people behave the way they do, because there is an order by which the mind actually, so mind also has its own way of responding, its own way of feeling, and all of that also is according to a certain order. So Jagat Vyavastha Prashasatu Purvika, we find that at every level, at the physical level, at the psychological level, the intellectual level, the moral level, at every level, there is an order in the creation. Prashasatru Purvika, and that leads us to accept the existence of a Prashasatru, meaning a Prashastru or whatever, a ruler. So, Shastru, Shastritu actually, Shastritru, or Shastra also is okay, and so that there is a ruler or an ordainer. Vyavasthatva, because we find Vyavastha in this world. That the sun rises at a given time, the sun and the moon, all their movements are all predictable. The predictability shows that there is an order. If there is no predictability, there is no order. And so predictability shows there is an order. The fact that the sun and the moon can be predicted, their movements can be predicted, all the eclipses, everything can be predicted, shows that they are functioning according to an order. And order shows that there must be someone to keep the order, because the general rule is that things have a tendency that disorder always grows, That's called entropy. So entropy always, there's always an increase in entropy. Entropy is a measure of or is an indicator of disorder. That disorder always has a tendency to grow. And therefore, unless order requires always an effort, disorder does not require an effort. If you don't make an effort, disorder will automatically happen. And therefore, to maintain the order, effort is always required. The fact that there is an order, that means that the natural tendency of disorder is kept under check. Order means that the natural tendency of disorder is kept under check. Just as dharma means that the natural tendency of adharma is kept under check. Dharma, or righteous way of life, always calls for a measure of self-control. Because the self requires to be controlled, because if it is not controlled, then there is a tendency for it to come under the sway of those, the demoniac forces or tendencies, and therefore it is necessary to keep the mind under the personality free from the control of the demoniac forces, and then alone dharma is possible. So, all the dharma also means an order, and therefore any order always calls for an effort. In our own life we see, everywhere we see. Otherwise, everywhere, When effort is not there, you have to see. If no instruction is given to the people, then you see how things happen. The shoes and chappals are anywhere. After the function is over, the books are everywhere, Everybody uses the books all night, they're everywhere. It takes 15 days to find them from every corner, And so things like that. And so if you tell them, you must do this, and then everybody requires to be told, The thing is, even when they grow to any age, they still need to be told that put your shoes in line. When you take the book, make sure that you return it in the right place. If it is not done, Swami, tame to kahin kehta nahi. Since you don't tell us, therefore we don't do, I guess, Tyan saru Swaminarayan is good. Everything, that is good because they are told, And so we don't grow up at all because we always want to be controlled and ruled, because that's what we are accustomed to. We are accustomed to being ruled. Since I am not accustomed to being ruled, it's not possible to rule. Though people who do not accept other rules of others, they better not rule others also, because they would not know how to do that. If you have been ruled and you know how to deal, how to be ruled, then perhaps it may be easier for you to do it to others also. But that's difficult. And therefore, for people who want to be ruled, there must be a shasanam. Otherwise, the nature being what it is, just loose, like Swami says, paijama, People wear the paijama, that looseness of the mind. In one pajama, 3 fellows can be accommodated. That's kind of thing like that. And so also the looseness of the mind, and so mind is like that. And if you just, give it the freedom, then there will be absolutely no order at all, nothing. The fact that there is an order in the creation, of course in that disorder also there is an order, supposedly. By that we mean the reason, that there is a looseness of the mind. That's the order there anyway. Why is the mind loose? Because the mind is loose. Because it is depressed and sad, So mind that is depressed and sad and unhappy is a loose mind, because the thing is always elsewhere. It is never where it should be. And therefore, when I am doing something, the mind is somewhere else because of preoccupation. The mind always preoccupied with something. Or it is totally absorbed in God. Then also it can be preoccupied. 2 fellows are like that, So the people who are preoccupied, there also will not be in this Vyavahara. So Swami Ekhanand used to quote the story of some other Mahatma, that somebody went to a Mahatma in Haridwar and says, ये गुरु ग्रंथ साहब में बहुत अशुद्धियां हैं. गुरु ग्रंथ साहब, बहुत अशुद्धि है. So that Mahatma said, okay, he didn't reply that question. He said, all right, do this, that bring paper and pen and start writing as I tell you. Just write. One condition, you should look at me while writing. So that was okay. He started writing. Looking at the Mahatma, he started writing. After 5 minutes, he said, now read how many errors or mistakes are there. There were many mistakes, even though this fellow was a scholar. How come? He said, because जब वो लिखते हैं तो ये भगवान की ओर देखते हैं. इसलिए, so Ashuddhi is not because Ashuddhi is in the mind, because his mind is preoccupied there. So that also is okay. Those people are also not here, and other people are also not here, both ways. So people belong to one of the categories, coming here anyway, and so that is why, generally speaking, order is difficult unless you hammer it, If you don't remind people that today is Thursday, tables will be wherever they are, and things like that. Of course, people are in a hurry. I appreciate there are many reasons why things are the way they are, because they are in a hurry and then not they have to rush to many things, etc. And therefore, it's not always possible to keep things in the right place and right order, etc. But what I'm saying is that the mind being what it is, order, the idea is order requires an effort. It all requires both an alertness as well as an effort. Not only effort, but alertness also. And so, vyavasthatvat. And so the fact that there is a vyavastha in the creation, nothing ever transgresses, nothing is in the wrong place in the order of the God. Vyavasthatvat. Therefore, prashasitra purvika, jagat vyavastha. Therefore, this vyavastha that we find in jagat also must presuppose the prashasitra, meaning a ruler. Rajya vyavasthavat, ava is to be added there, rajya vyavasthavat ityartha. Like the vyavastha, the order obtaining the kingdom, so also there is an order. So so we presuppose the king. Even if you don't see the king, when you see that everything is, so when you find Ahmedabad, there must be some good municipal commissioner, I guess things are getting to be in order in some ways, And that's to infer, some new officer must have come here. The roads are broader and then there are fewer potholes and then whatever it is, So little less confusion and so forth. And therefore, you think that some competent fellow must have come. And so otherwise, they're losing it. Everywhere potholes, everywhere garbage, everywhere. So you go wherever, that's all it is. And you see, I have a Gamni that, the road is turned into Ukarda. People throw anywhere, they pour things anywhere, wherever they like, that's all. And then it becomes a public toilet and everything else. So you find that Gram Panchayat doesn't work because it doesn't have money. Just because it doesn't have money doesn't mean these things cannot be done. But anyway, and so, whatever. So, that this Raja is not there, some controller is not there. In Jagat, we find the Vyavastha, and therefore, that Prashasita is there. Okay, Anagyanandi continues, Surya Chandramaso Ityadav. A full stop need not be there, Vivakshitam Anumanamaha. So there, Ityadav. In all of these now Pariyayas are there, number of illustrations are given to arrive at the Prashasita in different ways. So how we can arrive at the ruler or the ordainer or the God with reference to universe from different standpoints. Or at least that's how Bhashyakara explains every pariyaya in a different way to arrive at the existence of a ruler. Surya Chandramaso Ityadav Vivakshitam Anumanamaha Suryascha Ityadina. So Bhashyakara gives the Anumanam that is intended to be conveyed here. Suryascha Chandrascha Chandramascha Surya Chandramaso Ahoratrayoho Loka Pradipa. So they are like the Pradipa, they are like the lamps during the day and the night. Loka Pradipa. Loka means for the world, They are like the lamps illumining the world during the day and the night. Tadarthena prasasitra tabhyam nirvartimana loka prayojana vijnanavata nirmitau. Prasasitra tadarthena nirmitau. Somebody has created them. Somebody has made them. Prasasitra. By the prasasitra, meaning by the ruler. Tadarthena meaning what? Siddhanagi loka prakashartatvena. That the sun, the moon have a duty to perform. They are not there. So that's another thing. That whatever obtains in the creation always must have a purpose. Nothing is redundant. Nothing, even a mosquito also is not redundant. Everything has a purpose.